Gary, what do you make, basically, of chips, microchips under the skin and the rest?
For me, it's quite interesting, really. My view is, if this is the answer, what is the question? What problem is it trying to solve? It's just a technology that people have created. But what is really the question is really answering, because, yes, theoretically, wouldn't it be great if this could happen? And it reminds me very much of the science fiction films of the 50s and 60s, where you'd have this sort of thing going on. But in reality, payments exist today. There are payment methods already today. So what is the real benefit to do this, and what really is it trying to solve? Because I can think of it. It's a real happy path solution that's been created. Chip under the skin. You transmit a payment. You tap it. Fine, fantastic. But what happens if, for example, it's over the contactless limit? What do you do then? What happens if, with what we've had since PSD2 came in, the new regulations, that every fifth contactless transaction, or if they go up to a certain limit and go over that limit, you need to enter your card in because for the chip to be read and into the PIN. How does that happen? And even as I've written about this as well already, what happens at an ATM if you want to get cash out? Because you can't, you have to slide your hand into the ATM machine because there's no contactless way of reading the chip. And even if you go into a bank branch, they ask you to put your card in the machine and enter your PIN to read the card. So it's almost a happy path solution is, okay, it could be done, but then there's a whole multitude of other questions that need answering.
Presumably,
to make it viable.
Presumably, I think it's that there is no intention for there to be cash. That the intention that would run parallel quietly alongside an idea like this is that there wouldn't be any cash. But I think more fundamentally than that, Gary, what preoccupies me is the surrendering of privacy. What's in it for me if invisible corporations and whoever else has access to the data is able to track every transaction that I make? Why should that be someone else's business? What do I get from that? Where's the quid pro quo for me?
No, Neil, absolutely. And this is really the thing is the payment industry does this an awful lot, where technology is created and it's offered out to the customers, and it's almost the industry should be looking inwards to say, what's in this for the customer? Great, it's a technology that can be used, but what is the benefit to the user of this? Now, you've got, if the chip had things like your identity, because again, we've all seen the films where, and it's been discussed, of carrying your medical records with you, so if anything happened, it could be scanned and immediately available. But that then again opens a whole other raft of challenges of security and how's that managed. And so this is for me, this comes back to a really it's almost cutting edge technological solution. Yes, it's fantastic, great idea, but in reality, how would it work? And then even if there was mass adoption and people were interested, with the cost of the chips, the cost of the solution, how then would it be? How would they be massively rolled out to the customers? Because there's almost there's 90 odd million debit cards in the UK. How are you going to insert 90 odd million chips into people's hands? Even a theoretical example, you've got a couple, they've got a joint bank account, and but they've also got their own bank account as well. What, do they have a chip in each hand? How is that going to work? It's almost it's very much a nice idea, but created, if you like, by scientists and techies, and there'll probably be an award for it. But will it ever see the light of day? In a few years ago, the Nationwide Building Society, in their head office in Swindon, have got an iris scanning ATM. So you go up to it, you scan your obviously your eye, and you can it knows it's you, and you can withdraw money. I still think that's the only one in existence. So it's just a technology-led solution rather than being a practicality of where it's going. And yes, people that have got agendas want to try and push it, but will it happen? I think I'd be surprised that if in our lifetime we see it as a reality, of a solution rolled out, because of the questions that need answering.